Good morning! Over the weekend, I became a Merlin Platinum Annual Pass holder. So, today I woke up and thought, let's go to Legoland. So, that's what we're gonna do. So let's get going. Alright, so we have arrived at Legoland and the car park is super busy because there's some kind of police training event going on today. So they've taken over half the car park, it would seem. So yeah, I'm in car park D, which most of the car parks are all like the solid tarmac type stuff. This is more like a pebbly car park. So there you go, but right by where the coaches park. So if you were to look on a map, you would see where I ended up. But judging by the car parks, it looks like it's going to be a busy day. Now, this kind of second week of July is a weird time in the year because the private schools have broken up for the school holidays in England. But the regular state schools, I believe, have not and won't do for about 2 weeks. So it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. And there could well be a lot of school trips here as well, because Legoland do a lot of educational school stuff for kids up to the age of 13. So we'll see how today goes, because I do get a lot of anxiety. So I might not be in there for very long, but we will see how it proceeds. We're in. It's definitely a busy day. So I just popped into the shop to grab a couple of things. I was very excited because they had a t-shirt in my size. They have a lot, they're basically a standard Lego store, but they have, what do they have? They have Legoland exclusive stuff in there as well. So basically anything you see that is Legoland branded, you can only get in a Legoland park. So for right now, I've picked up a t-shirt and a Legoland exclusive bag tag, because I love the Lego bag tags for my luggage. Generally speaking, if I've got a piece of luggage, it's got a Lego bag tag on it of some description. So as I said, I'm just going to take the day as it comes, because I'm honestly not sure how well I'm going to go with how busy it seems to be. I'm a bit surprised because the hill train is just coming past me, you can see here. And it said on the website it wasn't going to be working today. So maybe they changed their mind? I don't know. So while I'm stood here, I'm just going to tell you how I ended up becoming a Merlin annual pass holder. Because I had zero intention of doing this at all this year. Basically after having a couple of some really rough years with my health, I finally started having things work out for me a bit more financially. And so this summer, I think for the first time, because they said it was brand new, Merlin introduced fun passes, that they call them, at their 4 theme parks. So we've got Alton Towers, Chessington, Thorpe Park and Legoland. And they're basically 3-month passes. You had to buy them by, I think, the end of July for £59, and you can come as many times as you want within the 3 months, with the exception of some block out dates, which are basically bank holidays and then like some of the stuff towards Halloween and stuff. So I was like, okay, we're going to do that. And I had a discussion with my sister, and because I am entitled to a carer to come with me, we were like, this is a no-brainer, because it's the equivalent of it costing us £30 each. And we opted to go for Chessington. And you're like, but you're at Legoland right now. I know. So we opted to go for Chessington because it's got the zoo there, and we thought, do you know what, even if we just wander around, see the animals, get our steps up, that kind of thing, it will be a fun time, and it's more fun than going to a gym, right? So we did that, and we went about a week ago on the Saturday, and had a great time. We were there for I think about 5 hours, and it was a really good time. And then we went again this last Saturday, and it hit about 2 o'clock and we were still having a really good time. And I thought, the thing is though, I can see the limitations now of only having access to the one park, because where we live we've actually got relatively easy access to Chessington Thorpe Park and Legoland, on top of being able to get into London and stuff for the attractions they've got there. So I was like, I'll just have a look at the website, because they got signs everywhere going upgrade to an annual pass, and I looked it up and they had them on sale, and the sale ended on Saturday. So I was like, and it was about so off the gold pass, which has some block out dates, it was £50 off, and off the platinum one it was £60 off. And I was like, I think I'm going to do this, because I think it's good for me and my mental health and stuff. So there was a whole saga about being able to do it, because of the way Merlin's systems work, and they're not actually, it's weird because the individual parks kind of operate almost separately from Merlin, even though Merlin's the operator. So there's a lack of communication basically between Merlin head office and the parks themselves, which led to a huge amount of confusion, which involved about 2 hours of back and forth before I established that basically I couldn't upgrade, I had to just buy a new pass. So technically right now I've got the fun pass for Chessington and an annual pass, but hey ho. We did get our 2 uses out of the fun pass, which meant we more than broke even just on those 2 trips, so it's not a huge deal. So yeah, so I then woke up this morning and was like, I'm gonna try going in on my own and see how I fare, because I don't usually go places on my own because of my social anxiety. So that's why you'll often see me in a quieter place just in general, because of that. So that all being said, one thing I did want to mention is that if you do have a disability that means that you do struggle with queuing, as I do, you can apply for something called the something called the Ride Access Pass. And some of the parks work slightly differently to some of the other parks, but what they all have in common is you have to pre-register online. And I found the easiest way to do this was to first of all apply for what's called a Nimbus access card, which basically looks a bit like this. And it costs £15 for 3 years. And you do have to show proof of disability in order to apply for it. And that is recognised by a huge amount of attractions, both in the UK and outside of the UK, including all the Merlin parks and attractions, the Harry Potter studio tour, what else does Disneyland Paris, there's all sorts of places that do recognise it, and it makes it a lot easier because I don't have to tell people what my disability is, I don't have to take any like proof to each park other than that card. It makes it a lot simpler. Once you've done that, you can actually register for free with Nimbus, who then process it. It takes up to a week. They say apply at least 7 days in advance. I would say do it as soon as you can. The reason being is your Ride Access ID, which you will get upon your first visit to whichever theme park it is you choose to go to out of the 4. It is valid for, I think it's valid for 3 years. Just checking the date on the card. It's valid for 3 years from when you get it. So like, just do it. Because one of the things I found, particularly going into the summer, is because you then have to pre-book your ride access pass so they don't find that they're getting like skewed numbers or anything with the queuing. You have to pre-book it for the day you want to go, and all of the weekends in July plus the end of June were already fully booked when I got my card at the end of June. So it's just something to be aware of. Now, also something to be aware of is if you don't see availability, keep checking, because availability can appear at any point, including on the day itself. So on Saturday, there was nothing available. We checked at about 9:45 while we were waiting to go into the park, and boom, they had availability and we just got it. So don't lose all hope, but if you're willing to take the risk, it's worth a shot. So I will explain more about how that ride access pass is working later on, but for right now I'm going to go in the Insiders Clubhouse and see how that is, because I've never been there before. Okay, now you probably can't see me very well, but basically in the first room you go into, you get a playtester card, and you have to complete various challenges and get stamps, which you probably can't quite see, but they're like embossed on there. You then have to complete a final challenge and be a member of Lego Insiders, which I highly recommend doing anyway, because you get points, which gets money off Lego, and then you get to come into the vault, which is where I am now. Let me show you, because this is cool. So here we've got some of the Lego Friends sets. It's the Treehouse Hangout. And they've got some cool stuff on the walls telling you more about the model design process for that set, including the mini doll design process. Stuff about Ninjago. You can take a peek behind the bricks, which I'll probably do in a second. Now these, I have to say, aren't sets I would normally look at getting, so I don't know huge amounts about them. But it's pretty cool to see how they've gone from the early concept art to the final concept art with all of them. And you can see how you can adjust the models and stuff as well. So now I come back into the light. You might be able to see this a bit better. The embossing, I actually did this one wrong because I put the card in the wrong way up, because, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's the card you get. Oh, free souvenirs. So you remember you've done it, I guess. So I'm gonna, where am I gonna go? I think I'm gonna go this way. We'll start walking down the hill, or as I think of it, the Hill of Doom. No, it is a very steep hill, and because of that, you get fantastic views when you see London, like you saw. But it does also mean that make sure you've got good walking shoes on. Now you want to keep your eyes open as you come down the hill, because they put a lot of little Lego models and stuff around. So let me show you an example, because I haven't seen this one before. So here we can see the little baby Lego dragons, and they're so cute because it's a dragon nest. And then I guess a Viking, because we're about to enter London Viking or something. Yeah, adorable. And as a Lego fan, that is one of my favourite things about coming to Legoland. It's just how many models there are everywhere. Literally all over the place. You can see on the hill behind me, there's a tourist with a multicoloured zebra and a panda. Oh, I'm not pointing in the right direction. I mean, here. Panda, tourist taking picture of panda with a multicoloured zebra. I just love seeing all the models. So hopefully you can see a little bit of this. This used to be the, I can't remember what they called it, like Viking River Run or something. And you can see some of the Viking models and the Viking statues over off behind it. But it looks like it's closed and is being redone as something completely and utterly different. And it's something I've noticed at Merlin Parks, that it always seems to be some area that is being redone, because they'll typically introduce a new attraction each year. But I think with recent announcements with Universal coming to the UK, there has been a definite push for them to do a lot of redevelopment while they've got the time, before any building work is commenced over there. And that stampede you just heard is a school trip. Oh, so the construction walls that I'm passing have a timeline of Legoland and things kind of opening. So I actually came, if not opening year, very close to opening year, because back then I was just a little kid and I've always loved Lego. So we came and I did the driving school, and it was just like an absolute blast. And although there's a lot of things that have changed, there are some things that have very much stayed the same as well. I mean, there are bits of Miniland that are almost identical to what they were when the park first opened. And then there are other bits that they change and redo. I like it. Here's another one of those Vikings. And looks like some ice dragons up there. I don't know if they're just like refreshing it, or it is going to be something totally different. See what happens.
2 hours later.
Okay, it's been a while since I last spoke to you, and that's partly because Merlin do not allow you to film on their attractions, so I haven't been filming anything. So I've been on 3 attractions. The first one was the Ninjago, which is kind of like the, I can't remember what it's called, the Spider-Man Spider-Bots ride. It's a similar kind of thing. And that not the ride itself. The ride itself was fine. The queue for it was interesting. So the way the ride access pass works is basically you pre-booked it online, and then within the Legoland app you click for the reserve and ride section, and then you will see the option, you log in and you will see the option to redeem your ride access pass for the day. So you say redeem, and then you basically pick an attraction and say reserve. And for people with the ride access pass, the way it's working is it will give you instant access to your first attraction. When the barcode that it generates gets scanned, and when they scan it, they will also ask to see your ride access card. When it gets scanned, that then looks at the queue time that it is currently, and basically makes you wait that amount of time until you can get your next one. And I'll be honest, I think that's a great system. Except at Legoland today, they are not manning the merge points. So at Ninjago, you go. They do have a wheelchair lift, but basically you go up to the top of some stairs. There's then no signage to tell you what to do, and you are meant to merge with the main queue. And it's at that merge point that they would scan your QR code, but there was no one there to do it. So what I ended up having to do was hit cancel to be able to get my next one, but it did mean I had immediate access to it. Now, where it stressed me out somewhat is because I wasn't sure if I was in the right place, because there was no one there manning it. I found that extremely stressful for me personally. And the bit after the merge point is this big room that is very echoey. There was a huge amount of noise in there. Everyone is crammed together, and I don't know how long I was actually in there, but to me it felt like an hour. So yeah, it was a lot, and I came off the ride and I was like, I need air, I need space. I had to put my earplugs in as well in that queue because it was bad, and I always have my earplugs with me, and it's only in certain environments I actually need to use them, but that very much sent me over the edge. So it's just something to be aware of if you do have people with you that have anxiety, autism, etc., where they have sensory issues. That was a lot for me. So then because I hit cancel, I then got a ride access pass for laser blasters, I think it is. And it's funny because they had their merge point man, so they scanned it. And I'll be honest, even though it was still a noisy queue, because of it was like almost canvas line, it absorbed the noise and it was a lot less stressful. So I actually really, comparatively, enjoyed isn't the right word, but I found that queue very, very tolerable after the merge point. So then I bought some sandwiches with me, so I stopped and found a bench and had some lunch, thankfully in a quiet space, just to regroup myself. And then I got another pass for Fairy Tale Brook, which I haven't been on in over 20 years, and it has not changed other than them adding a camera. Again, no person manning the merge point, so there was nothing to scan. So I've again just had to cancel on that, which of course, now I've worked out that you can do that. It does mean you've got basically instant access to more things than you should. But it is very confusing, and in fact they had the signage saying where the merge point was, and I thought it was way clearer than the other ride over in Ninjago, and people still obviously got confused because they started walking along the exit, and then the guy loading the ride was like, what are all these people doing here? They've gone the wrong way. And the way he addressed it was very obvious. It happens all the time. So definite room for improvement. Yeah. So I'm going to carry on having a little wander around.
Hold on to your bricks, recruits. We're ready to go. We are now in the coral cave.
Hey recruits! Check out all of the colorful corals around you. Fun fact, coral reefs form the home for hundreds or even thousands of sea creatures, all living together. Reefs are home to 1/4 of all marine life. In fact, corals are sea creatures too, called polyps. They're usually found in these kind of tropical waters.
Our systems are showing we're right on track to find Atlantis. We're off to a flying fish start. Send it deeper now. And welcome to the deep sea. Some more of our guys are out here looking for Atlantis, lost treasures in the ocean, and spotted super cool sea creatures.
The water is full of life and Atlantean treasures. Keep an eye open for lurking sharks. Some like to fly around on the seabed. Oh, I do love sharks. Awesome fact. Sharks have been on the earth longer than dinosaurs.
Don't forget about the cow-nosed stingrays. They're pretty cool too. They swim in groups and use their wings to kick up the sand and find hidden food.
Brace yourselves, explorers. We're approaching Atlantis. Yay! Yes! Yippee!
documenting all the sea life in the deep sea? Awesome job, team!
Congratulations, explorers! Our mission to discover Atlantis and the treasures of the deep sea has been a success. It's time to head back up.
Hey, it's been fun sharing the amazing secrets of the ocean with you.
Now, let me check my remote systems to see how many amazing creatures you spot.
Please remain seated. You must remain in your own seat while the train is moving.
It's okay. It's only been a water. I think I got the shot. No, you're all right. Is that the hot house there?
Surely be in the road, winner. Baby elephant take the advertising. Well, an elephant. Oh, totally forgot to take a photo. Okay, like a stay photo. Lord Vampire's party guests are already arriving. You must be ready for any strange and creepy surprises. What a great way to end our adventure. With all our incredible photos, the Tweet Brick Trophy is surely ours. I can see our names in lights. Everyone wanting their autograph. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much. I really couldn't have done it without your help. And thank you for travelling today on the Legoland Express.
Please remain seated until the train has reached the station and come to a complete stop.
Come back up the station.
So I've got on two more things there, neither of which, they did check that I had a QR code, but they didn't actually scan it, which was the Lego Deep Sea thing, and the Legoland Express. And I've got to say, I was extremely impressed by the Legoland Express. It's just a little train that does one loop, but there's lots of Lego models to see, and they were all looking so fresh compared to the last time I saw them. They were looking really, really, really good. So well done, Legoland Express. By far, of the things I've done today, that has looked the most fantastic. Really appreciated the Legoland staff at at the Lego deep sea diving thing because I was on my own, and they originally were going to load me up in a sub that would have been full. And the one behind me was literally just going to be 3 people. And so he was like, if you want, I'll just put you on the one with the 3 people so it's less like manic. And I was like, yes, please. So I really, really appreciated that. Because at this point I have most definitely hit sensory overload. No one's doing anything wrong or anything like that, it's just everywhere is loud. If I compare this to Chessington on Saturday, bear in mind today's a Monday, the queues are way longer for stuff when I've been looking at the times, and I'll show you a little insert here where I had a look at the times. So, case in point, like a big school group just kind of barging past. I mean, a little impolite, but not really doing anything wrong. It's just lots of noise. Everything. So yeah, I've most definitely hit sensory overload. It's now 3 o'clock, so I was in there for about 4 hours, I think. And yeah, I'm done. It's time for me to go home. But I will be coming back to you from Legoland soon. Hopefully you've enjoyed today. So apologies, I can't show you more ride footage. But the reality is, 1, loads of kids around, and I'm not going to be filming the kids, especially when I don't know them. And 2, Merlin doesn't like you filming on a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm out of my car now. So with that, I shall leave you, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this content, consider giving it a thumbs up and clicking that subscribe button, and I will see you soon.